Anybody really struggling with the level of support or the type of support you're getting from your friends and family? If you are not feeling like your friends, your family are able to give you the support you're looking for, this episode is for you. Welcome to the Crazy Ex-Wives Club, a podcast dedicated to helping women navigate the emotional journey that is divorce. I'm your host, Erica, and if you're trying to figure out life after the big D, welcome to the club. Whether you're contemplating divorce or dealing with the aftermath or any of the many phases in between, the club has got you covered. Each week, you'll hear stories from women who have been in your shoes. This isn't about spilling tea on divorce details. This is about giving you the tools to take control of your own healing journey. Listen in weekly for advice, tips, and tools to help you move through each stage of the process. Welcome back to another episode of the Crazy Ex-Wives Club. I'm your host, Erica, and today we're talking about why your family is probably not the support system you need to get through your divorce. Shocking, right? It's the first place we think we can rely on. It is the people that we run to when anything really good or really bad happens in our life. It is the place we go to always be loved and accepted and supported. So why are they not the right choice when you are trying to navigate divorce? The reality is that your friends and your family have their own narrative around what it means to be divorced. They have their own opinions or hopes for what your life and your married life would look like. They have their own experiences with your soon to be ex. They have their own fears and worries about what this will do to the kids in your family. And it is so difficult for people to be able to separate out what is their own narrative of fear and emotions and grief and hopes and disappointment that they have, and what are the things that you're actually dealing with. And when it comes to divorce, which is such a chaotic and confusing experience anyways, when you go to rely on those family members and their opinions don't help, they leave you feeling even more confused. It creates that saying, that experience that every divorced person I know says, I felt so incredibly alone. So we know that support systems are really important. Life in general, right? Community, the people in your circle. Who do you socialize with? Who do you talk to? These are crucial aspects of who we are as humans. Most of us are pretty social beings. Most of us like to have a support network. You probably have a certain group that you connect with when it comes to your kids, like play dates or sports, the mommy friend group, right? Maybe you're active in the gym. You might have a gym friend group. Maybe you have some friends at work. You might have a coworker group. Then we've got our family group. Maybe you still have high school friends or college friends. We have all of these groups, all of these circles of people who have become friends because of some sort of shared experience or shared preference, right? Our family, we're born into it. Most of us are born into it. Maybe you're adopted, maybe it's a chosen family, but there are these people that we consider to be assigned to us. It's really hard to let go of family if they're not the right fit, right? We expect them to be the right fit. And then there are all these other circles of people that we have met and aligned with because we have a shared interest. When you look at your separation, your divorce, your unhappy marriage, a lot of the people you have in the circles around you were built to support the path that that relationship was on. I'm going to guess. How many of you have a lot of friends? If you're still married, how many of you have a lot of friends that are all couple friends? These are the friends that we have backyard barbecues with. These are the friends that maybe we vacation with. These are the friends that we go out to dinner with, or we have dinners at the house with, but they are almost all set couples. For those of you who are separated or divorced, have you noticed that your couple friends have started to fade away? That the couples are still getting together, but when you're no longer a couple, you don't get the invite as often. That those circles, those similarities of, oh, we're all married and we're sharing married stories about being married and working and having kids or whatever similarities we have, there is something that happens when you get divorced or when you get separated that knocks you out of that circle. So, as you're looking at the circles of friends you have, it's going to be so important for you to be able to pick the right people to support you. Now, if you listen to season 1, episode 1, you heard from 3 women who supported me at different phases of my divorce journey. And this is what I want you to start to reflect on and think about. There are times when you need somebody who can balance all of the big emotions that are coming up for you. For me, when I first started this divorce and separation journey, I wanted my marriage to work. I honestly didn't see another solution. I was so afraid of any other solution. I didn't understand how I was going to get my life back on track if it didn't come back to that marriage. Now we can sit in a place of understanding how that was a total fear-based decision. But in that moment, I built a support system from somebody else who was very, very pro marriage. Somebody who believed that everything could be worked through. Somebody who believed that they were willing to fight for the concept of this marriage, even when I would be so upset, even when I would have all the emotions, the hurt, the things that were bubbling up. This person could bring me back to what my ultimate goal was. What do you want to do? How can I support you? Okay, let me keep you on the path. Then there are friends who are going to be the protectors and the fighters for you. They are the ones that are going to stand there and say, hey, why are you letting somebody treat you so poorly? There is a time and a space for that type of support. If you're in the beginning, when I was in the beginning, and I really still wanted my marriage to work, when my friend, who was the fighter for seeing that I deserved better in a relationship, if she were to show up then, right, it would be, why are you staying? Why are you putting up with this? And that didn't feel like good support. That felt like more stress. That felt like now I needed to defend myself to my friend. And then there was, for me, a big spiritual shift in terms of moving into my divine feminine energy, reconnecting with who I truly wanted to be and who I felt like I had been hiding all these years, and the friends that helped me support there. I didn't land on these friends or make all the right choices on the support system right out of the gate, but I could use my emotions to understand when was I talking to the right friend, the friend that was giving me the type of support I wanted, and when was it not. And the guiding factor that you have is your emotions. When you reach out to somebody, you are in a place, right? You are grieving or you're sad or you're angry or you're upset, and you need that support, that connection with another human. Whether you're looking for that human to validate you, to listen to you, to help support you through it, you're reaching out to a person and you spend some time and you talk to that person or you meet up with that person. Here's the crucial part that you need to start doing. When you finish your time with that person, do you feel better or do you feel worse? Your emotions will tell you if that person's support was helpful in the moment or not. And this is where so often our family is actually the worst support. My family absolutely loved me, and my family tried their best to give me the support they wanted. In fact, I bought them all a copy of the book, Divorce Remedy. I said, hey, this is the approach. This is what I am trying to do. Here's the book. And then I straight up told them, if you can't offer this level of support, that is fine, because this is a different approach, then I don't need it and I don't want it, because I am trying so hard to keep myself on my own path. That being said, I got lots of pushback. I got pushback in terms of why was I choosing to travel instead of being home and prioritizing what my son needed. I got pushback in the choices I made and how I wanted to move forward in my life. And I got a lot of worry. Are you okay? What are you trying to do? What is this doing to your son? How is this going to impact him long term? So many other emotions. And a lot of it was fear-based. And that was not something that I had the energy to defend against or the desire to pick up. I already was scared to death of what was going to happen. The last thing I needed was more fear and more worry from somebody else. And I learned really quickly that while my family loved me, and oh my gosh, they absolutely did their best job to try and support me, their own fears and stories got in the way of being the support I needed in that moment. And that's okay. If you've been struggling to find the right support to help you figure out what your next step is, the club is your answer. Launching this summer, we'll be hosting a private divorce group for you to get the support, the inspiration, and the guidance you need to be able to find the answers for you to finally move forward. No matter if you are unhappily married, trying to figure out what those next steps are, or in those early phases of separation and divorce where it feels like a constant uphill battle and you just want to get your feet underneath you, the club is going to be your place. Every single month, I offer support calls, networking calls to meet other women, and a signature program to guide you from confusion to clarity. On top of that, my most favorite part is every quarter, I'm going to send you a healing gift. You get a kit full of tools, support items, things to help you on your healing journey. The club is going to open up this summer, so make sure to get on the wait list. The link is in the show notes so that you have early access. You guys, it is okay if your family is not able to support you in the way that you need. It is no shade or blame or disappointment or shortcoming on them. Divorce is a really big transition. It's a really big shift. It has a lot of emotional charge around it, and they're not walking it. You are. And so for them, it might be more than they can offer. And you'll know this because you'll finish a conversation with them, and either the conversation will shift to you having to defend your choices, you having to fight to validate why you want to do what you want to do. You'll leave feeling even more confused or uncertain. When these sorts of results come up, when these feelings are there, these are your caution flags that is not the support system you need right now. And I want to use that keyword, right now. Divorce is not a sprint. It is a marathon. It is a journey through multiple seasons of your life. You're going to continue to change and evolve and move and shift through things. In these relationships that you have will either evolve with you and meet you where you're at, or they will fall away. It will be another thing that has to be grieved, another thing that has to be redefined. My relationship with my family went through a process of being redefined. Who was the new Erica that was standing in front of them? How was she choosing to lead her life? And where did that conflict with what they wanted, or where were they willing to move forward with me? The same is true when it comes to friends. I think about there was one really good friend I had at the very end of my marriage because she was always there to complain about our then husbands. So we could meet at any time and talk about how frustrating it was about what the men in our lives were doing. Well, when my marriage fell apart and I moved into separation, the last thing I wanted to do was to continue to complain about what he was doing or was not doing, or where the problems were. What I wanted to focus on was, how was I rebuilding? How was I moving forward? What else was coming up for me? There's some of the types of shifts in the friendships that you are going to be asked to evaluate whether or not you want to keep them. That was a friendship that I just started to create a little bit more space. We'd go, we'd hang out. It would leave me feeling really depleted and really sad after we hung out, or more frustrated or more angry. It didn't move me closer to the goals I had set for my own life. And so I started to just space out how often we hung out. I got busy with other things. Our timings didn't always line up. Eventually, that friend sent me a text expressing her frustrations and disappointment and saying that I was a fair weather friend and how dare I leave. And that was a moment that I held space for that friend because she, on the other side, had some expectations as well, but we were no longer aligned in who we were. Your friendships are going to evolve. So support, because that's what's most important. You're like, that's all great, Erica. Glad after you got through it, you found new friends. But what do you do in the moment? Here's what you're going to do in the moment. When you're looking for support systems that are going to be able to be there for you, first thing I want you to do is, as you're talking to the people that are currently in your life, your friends, your family, if you are talking to coworkers, right? Who are the people you're talking to? I want you to ask yourself after you have a conversation with them, did you feel better afterwards? What does better mean? Did I feel more at peace? Did I feel more confident in my decision? Did I feel more comfortable with the direction that my life is moving? Did I feel relieved of the stress and the anxiety and the worry? Or were all of those worse? Did I find myself more frustrated? Did I find myself more confused? Did I find myself more uncertain as to what was going to be happening next? If you found yourself on that side, the caution flag, the yellow flag, then what I want you to do is, next time when the habit hits, when you go to grab the phone because you want to call the friend that you typically talk to, I want you to ask yourself and say, did our connection give me the support that I needed? If the answer was, hey, there were some caution flags, proceed cautiously. I'm not telling you it's a red flag. I'm not telling you you can't talk to that person, but I am saying know that when you reach out to that person, that there is a chance that at the end of the call, you don't feel better, you feel worse. And when that happens, part 2 of evolving your friendship is to ask yourself, what support role is this person best at? And when do I need that level of support? Is this a relationship that I want to continue to evolve and grow? Can this person grow with me? There's some people that just will not be able to grow with you, and there will be others that will be happy to evolve and move forward. So if you're evaluating your current friends, now we look to the other side. Where do we find the new friends? Especially when you're going through divorce or separation, a lot of your systems are changing. Okay, you probably are not at the couples outings. You might still have the mommy friends or the sports friends, but those things are getting a little bit uncertain as well, probably because the things you want to talk about are very different than what the other people want to talk about. And this is where it becomes so important to find the right support system in terms of, you are welcome to join the club. The club is a support system, a community specific for women who are unhappily married through the first phases of divorce, because we get what you're going through, right? It can help so much to hear from other women who have made it through, or other women who are struggling in the same places, for you to be able to get your feet underneath you and move forward. The other thing I want you to think about is, as you're looking at or talking to individuals, what is the kind of support or energy you need from somebody, and be specific about who you call in your friend list. I knew there were times when I just really needed that mom energy. I needed that mom feeling of, baking cookies and giving you a hug or holding you up, whether that's a grandma or a mom. And I knew that where my own mom was in her journey of just losing my dad, he had passed away shortly before, she was on her own grief journey, that I knew that that was not the place that I was going to reach out and find it. But I did have another friend who always exuded mom energy. And so when I really needed that call, when I really needed to cry on the phone and have somebody tell me it was going to be okay and that I was going to get through it, I called that friend. I had another friend I specifically could be like, okay, right now I need to get energized. I need the fight. I knew who I could call. So after you finish this episode, I want you to think about your list of friends. What are their strengths? Are they the great cheerleader for you? Are they the motherly support for you? Are they that curious, spiritual, supporting woo-woo friend who's like, ooh, what do you think that means for your spiritual path? What are their strengths? And start to leverage those strengths when you're in the need of that energy. I knew when I really needed somebody to hold me to the line of what I was trying to achieve at the moment, I knew which friend I had to call. And when I was really uncertain about putting myself back out there and getting back out into the dating world, I knew what friend was my hype friend who was going to pick me up and get me through it. Not all friends are created equal. They offer different aspects of support and conversation and understanding and awareness. And part of your job on your journey is knowing, when do I pull in the help that I need? If you are feeling like, Erica, I have no one, there is nobody out there. First off, I'm glad that you're here, because that is the point of the Crazy Ex-Wives Club podcast. Hear from other women. Know that we are getting through it and that you can get through it as well. And I would love to get on a call with you to do 15-minute chat. Let's talk through the other support options. You do not have to be alone in this. I found one of the most difficult things was trying to build new social circles. I didn't play a sport. I didn't really know, like I wasn't going to go sit at the bar. And to be honest, I don't know how often people are still doing that. They are, but they aren't. Just depends. And so it was really hard. Everyone's like, well, just make new friends. Well, where the heck am I supposed to go? Well, what am I supposed to do? I think that is still one of the biggest struggles that I hear women come up, and they're like, but what did you do? All right, there are apps where you can meet people. I started taking whatever classes I could take. But the reality was, and the best solution was, I got real clear on how much I liked being me. Whether or not I shared it with somebody, it didn't change the fact that I liked me. But I had to get to that point through the support, through the help of people in my life. So if you are struggling, let's reach out. Let's talk. You can pop over to Instagram. You can drop me a DM. You can click on the link to book the 15-minute call. We can talk about the club, which gives you access to a whole network of women who are also navigating the process. There are so many support options out there for you. What I don't want you to do is just rely on, well, this is my sister. She should be able to support me. It's unfair. It is unfair to ask people to step into a role that they are not ready for, and maybe they just can't do. Maybe they are much better being a brunchy, breakfasty friend than they are being there on a Friday night when your kids are at their dad's house and you're sobbing on the floor. Those are different friends. So think through who is in your list. Really be strategic about the support system that you're building. Is your therapist in there? Is your wellness and movement, are you at the gym moving through stuff? Is that an aspect in there? These are all pieces of support. So I just want to make sure that you guys understand that your family and your close friends, they might not be the support that you need, and that is okay. But it's going to be really important for you to be able to choose the right support when you need it. I know that it can feel never ending and overwhelming as you're looking at the hill in front of you that is divorce or separation. But one step at a time, one person, one support system at a time, you will get through it. And a lot of times, by the time you get through it, you have transformed into a new person, into new communities, new likes, new interests. And so hold space, Be grateful for the people who helped you get where you're at. Be open to the new people who are coming in to support you on the next phase. And at the end of the day, know that it is your strength and your focus on what you truly want to achieve that is going to make all the difference. You guys, until next week, take some time to reflect on that support system. Start to use your emotions to guide you to understand, is this helping or hurting me in the moment? And then look to build the new systems that you need to support you. And that's it. Another great episode of the Crazy Ex-Wives Club, a podcast for women learning how to heal from their divorce. Tune in next week for more advice and tips to help you figure out life after divorce. And until then, give yourself grace, do the best you can, and know that this is all part of the process.